GO is the official education in Flanders and in Brussels from the Flemish government. We have 200,000 students and a very large real estate portfolio. This is 4 million square meters of buildings.
Our real estate portfolio is not in a good shape and the financial resources are limited. So for that reason, we do the real estate management on 3 levels: the operational level, like a building project, the tactical level and the strategic level.
On the tactical level, we have most important the integrated plan on infrastructure. That is a plan that matches education with infrastructure, because we notice that the demands in education can rather change quickly. Demography can increase, the insights in pedagogy can change rather quick. And on the other hand, in building terms or in real estate, we think on a much longer term, in 40 to 50 years. So with an integrated infrastructure plan, we try to conciliate those two. It's important that we make this plan on a regional scale. This is 40 to 50 schools. And it has 3 steps in the process. So we work on the analysis of the environment and of the spatial area. The second step is to develop a vision together with all the school directors, where we try to envision how education will evolve in the coming 10 to 15 years. And in the last step, it's the most difficult one, of course, we try to conciliate those and to make some scenarios and some concrete projects.
The other project on the tactical level is the real estate database. It's an inventory of all the sites and all the buildings we have. We put all the knowledge about our buildings and sites in this database, for instance, surfaces, plans, but also the condition of the buildings are in this database. The project to capture the state of the building parts is quite unique. We did it in 9 months. We captured the condition of all the roof, the windows, the restrooms, the facades and the heating installations of every of these 3,700 buildings. And with that, we are the only real estate owner in education in Flanders who has this knowledge on his building stock. Also the integrated plans, where we make the combination of the pedagogical needs and the infrastructure are unique. What can we do with these instruments? We can derive from our data when the building environment is compromising the educational assignment. And one of the examples there is the project in Zottegem. So there we detected that the building is too small for the large amount of pupils. Afterwards, we also had a look to every building on this site. We detected that there were some buildings that are not worth to invest anymore. So we demolish also these buildings to make the new building.
From the beginning, it was clear we needed a variety of spaces for the school, whether it be for learning standing up or sitting down or in group or together or alone or outside. Now, how did we come to the translation from the vision of the school to actually a building? From the get-go, we decided within our team of project managers to realize this project through a design and build method, which means you don't follow the classical path of searching for an architect and then working on plans and specifications for a year or more than a year. Instead of that, design and build means from the get-go you find a design and build team which consists of architects, contractors and technical engineers from the beginning. You have one party, you have one association you have to deal with, and it's quite a quick way to work.
We were inspired also by smaller projects, by test cases in our schools here in the region, and the experience of the teachers and the pupils in those experiments were very useful because they answered questions that apparently were practical but that in fact were very essential. Questions such as how many pupils and teachers can you put together in one space? What kind of specific spaces do you need? Quiet rooms, instruction rooms, quiet hubs, large Laudy-like theatres, resting spaces, playing spaces, and further on.
Now, how did we go from the vision of the school to a concrete demand program for our building team? We decided to work with what I now call the cut and paste sessions. We printed out a large plan of a classical school building, school wing. You have 3 classes, a corridor, 3 classes, because a class about 60 square meters is something every teacher can envision how big it feels. And then we had another sheet with all kinds of small learning blocks, I call them, all kinds of different ways of learning. You had 20 square meters instruction rooms, then another square meters for individual learning, then for group learning, outside learning, creative rooms, play areas, all these different blocks. And then we literally started to cut them up and merge them together. But finally, in several sessions, we came to an organogram of all the spaces we needed, and also a chart of all the square meters we needed for those spaces, and then all the demands. Do these spaces have to be open? Do they have to be visually separate? Do they have to be acoustically separate? And we put them all together in a demand to find our building team then. And then we started to work with them. Our vision, what we had, our demands, they translated it very beautifully in a very, very well thought out and playful design.
Of course, we encountered problems, doubts, financial restrictions. So we had to think and rethink the building as well on the inside as on the outside. But rather than being stubborn, we searched solutions without compromising the final objectives. And I think that creativity and dialogue are really the major keywords to make such a project successful. This is also the end of the all alone in my kingdom teacher, and the teacher becomes now part of a team. When asked to witness, students tell us that they acquire knowledge but also many other skills, and they say that their planning skills are much more in development. And freed from the obligation to sit and to listen, they like the variety of the techniques that are used to teach them. On the other side, they are in demand of instruction, where the teacher takes up his role of subject expert, passing through the knowledge. And so the individual teacher can still remain a subject expert, but he can also focus even more on the individual needs of the pupil.
I'm most proud we had the courage, together with the school management, to really dive into the deep end, and I'm very glad we came out on the other side with a design and a design team we were very happy with. So I'm looking forward to the future.
So we believe that European cooperation can indeed help us. Now sometimes it seems that everybody is reinventing the wheel, so we think that by speaking more to each other and seeing how other countries can cope with these problems, we can learn a lot. So we hope that maybe we can see a lot of these countries again in the future.